In today's video, I want to talk about 10 key habits of highly productive young adults. So by the end of the video, you can actually implement this in your own lifestyle and become productive yourself. First habit that a lot of these young adults have is that they use effective planning and organization. They break down a lot of their big tasks into smaller doable tasks, so it's not hard to take action and it does minimize the friction for you to start on something. These individuals allocate different time slots for different activities and different tasks. That way they stay organized and they know exactly how their day is going to look like and what time they're going to be doing what activity. As you know, there are apps on your phone that could help you do this, such as Google Calendar, Notion, Todoist, and just a bunch of other organization apps that could help you stay organized throughout your day. So it's always important to just be ahead and plan for unforeseen circumstances in case anything does happen. It's also important to set realistic deadlines to make sure that you complete your tasks in a timely manner. Habit number 2 that they do is prioritization. Now, it's important to prioritize which tasks go first, and a lot of times you should prioritize your tasks on 3 things: the importance, the deadline, and also the impact that the task has. For example, you have a really small minor task like taking out the trash, but you know your trash should be taken out tomorrow because tomorrow is trash day, right? Even though it's extremely minor, you keep in mind there's a deadline for when the trash truck comes in and picks up your trash, so you want to make sure that gets done. Or maybe there's an impact for your task to be done, such as fixing a car that your family uses, right? If you use a car that your other family members use as well, there's going to be an impact if that car isn't fixed, because then not only is it impacting you, but it's also impacting all your other family members. And not only that, but also the importance of your task, such as practicing for an interview or studying for an exam, because if it's an important exam, then you better get on it, right? A lot of people actually sort this out in different to-do lists and different applications as well as tracking your completion and your progress on these tasks. Habit number 3 is focus and concentration. So how does one make focus and concentration a habit, right? Well, maybe one way is that you can create a distraction-free work environment on your desk or wherever you're mainly working at, such as, cleaning up your desk, decluttering, putting things where they belong before, so that way your desk just doesn't look like a mess and you can actually be and stay productive when you're working. You can also practice some deep work techniques such as time blocking or single tasking, where you focus on one thing at a time. I know a lot of people use the Pomodoro technique, and I'm actually probably going to use that right now as I edit this video and as I'm recording and scripting everything, because I just simply want to do deep work on this one video and I don't want to go off track and doing anything else. It is also important to take breaks as well to recharge your focus, recharge your concentration. You don't have to take a long break. You could just take a 5-minute breather, take a stretch, and get back to work. And that is an important habit to have if you want to be focused and concentrated on your work. Habit number 4 is continuous learning and skill development. A lot of these highly productive young adults, they don't waste too much time on TikTok. They don't waste too much time scrolling on useless memes and stuff, but instead they go online and try to look for things that could improve themselves, right? Whether it's an actual technical skill, soft skill, or just any personal development advice that they could take, these guys are usually on top of it. They actively seek feedback from other people as well, such as their family, their loved ones, and those who they respect, just so they could hear other people's opinions. And that's honestly one way to improve yourself, because the way you see yourself isn't always the way that others see you. And if others can tell you one way to improve yourself, and if it's a valid reason, then you might as well take it, right? Next habit that they have is efficient communication. These highly productive young adults waste no time and they use clear and concise language while being affirmative at the same time when they communicate. They choose appropriate communication channels and mediums depending on the tone of the message. So if it's something more formal, you can use an email, or if it's something more casual, maybe you could ping them or chat them on a social media platform. They also ask good questions to ensure that both parties have the right understanding and everybody's just on the same wavelength, right? And it's also important to adapt communication styles depending on who you're talking to. If your audience is a younger generation, maybe you could use some slang to be more relatable, whereas if your audience is more of an older generation, you could be a little bit more formal, so that way they can understand you and get you better. Another habit that they use as well is to establish a very nice work-life balance. Now, this includes setting healthy boundaries between work and personal life. They prioritize self-care activities on their own. They use technology intentionally, so they limit their time on their phones and on their screens and really only go on their phones when they really need to. And they also have a good understanding of their coworkers, bosses, and back at home, they have a good understanding of their family members and what they want and what they need as well. Another good habit that a lot of these guys have as well is problem solving. You don't always have to be doing puzzles, or you don't always have to be doing these games every time. There's definitely a problem, and if you could solve it little by little, one at a time, you're actually practicing your problem solving skills, so that when the tasks get more complex, you actually have already practiced this problem solving skill and it doesn't overwhelm you, and instead you can actually get to work and start tackling down that large task that you have coming up. Being productive also means that you regularly think outside the box and you're not always stuck on one page. You're not always following the manual step by step, but instead, maybe you could proactively think, how can I solve this away from the manual that might be a little bit more efficient, that might save me a little bit more time, or just a new way to approach a problem that's never been thought about before. So again, having that problem solving mindset and that creative out of the box thinking is very, very important. And it's definitely a habit that a lot of these highly productive young adults have. Another great habit as well is regular review and reflection of your actions. You should always conduct regular self-assessments and evaluate your progress and your performance. For example, maybe you can just go on your phone and look at your screen time, right? Maybe you set a goal of, you only want to spend 2 hours on your phone max a day instead of 3. And you can always just review that on your phone. Nowadays, I know a lot of operating systems have a feature where you can check how long you've been on your phone. And if you regularly check it and you monitor your progress and you try to improve and be better, this is actually going to make you a little bit more productive in terms of doing your work and getting things done. You should also celebrate achievements and accomplishments and give yourself a pat in the back if you've ever done something amazing, or you've just finished your goals and your tasks on time or even early. You can also write down your weaknesses, and this is an important one because you can't fix a problem unless you know there is one. So it takes skill to write down your weaknesses, write down your problems, and get to work and improve on it, because a self-assessment is extremely important in being highly productive. The next habit they have is effective delegation and taking leadership. So this means that if you are overloaded with a lot of tasks and you notice that a lot of different group members or project members or coworkers are free, you can actually use this time to maybe ask for help and actually delegate some of your tasks to them, right? You know exactly how to break it up. You know exactly effective ways to, give this to your coworker and not have it come back different than the way you want it, because you're taking leadership in exactly how you want this to be done. And not only that, but you're also providing clear instructions and delegations when you're giving out and delegating tasks. This also requires you to have an open mind and trust your other coworkers and trust your group members to get some of the stuff done for you, right? You're also being a great leader by not leaving them hanging and offering support whenever they need it, or whenever they have some questions to ask. You're not just ghosting them, but instead you're being proactive and you're helping them as well. And this is a key to being highly productive, because when you start delegating your tasks and you're being clear on it, the people that are helping you out can also help you reach maximum productivity if you tell them the right thing to do and you actually give them clear instructions and expectations. And last but not least, the last habit that highly productive young adults do is they exercise and they eat well. Again, taking care of your physical and mental health and just aiming to have a healthy body in general really does improve your productivity level, because if you're unhealthy and you have a lot of different problems with your body, a lot of different problems with your health, this can really slow down your work and slow down your pace as well. So these guys usually like to go to the gym, they like to eat healthy, they like to track their progress in terms of, how their body is doing, and really just try to commit their best to making sure that they have the best body and making sure they have the best shape they could. So that way, with a healthy body and a healthy mind, they could really tackle any type of problems and challenges that come along their way, because they know that they have a healthy and ready body. Now, these are the top 10 habits of highly productive young adults that I could think of at the moment, and that a lot of young adults like me actually share in common. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like and hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.